class, and welcome to lesson 3.3, multiplying decimals by whole numbers. So here's our warm-up right now. As we know, multiplication is essentially repeated addition. It's repeated addition. But let's look. Bamboo is one of the fastest growing plants. It can grow about 4 9/10 feet in height per day. It is a favorite food of panda bears. You can use repeated addition to find the total height a bamboo plant can grow over a number of days. So if you complete this table below, if you could do it either in your notebook or it is on page 193. It is on page 193. So we're going to fill out this chart together. You should have been doing it already, so let's see. What we know now is that it's still going to be that 4 9/10. And because I'm lazy, watch this, you guys. Whoop, whoop. Look at that. I'm so good at this, you guys. Look how quick. So we all know how to add together decimals, right? We just line them up and add them. It was just that first lesson. So this is being, it's just a completely refresh of lesson 1. Who has the answers? So raise your hand if you happen to have an answer for any of these. Raise your hand. Kayla, what did you get for 3 days?
For 3 days, I got 14 and 7 tenths.
Excellent. She got 14 and 7/10. And look, she said it the academic way. Lovely. Eduardo, what did you get for 4 days?
I got 18 and 6/10.
We are a little bit off there, I believe. We are a little bit off. I think you forgot to carry a number there. Does anybody know what that one would be possibly? Excellent. He carried his one. He got 19 and 6/10, academically saying it. I love it. Lucas, what about after 5 days?
You will get 4.4 9/10 times 5 will give you 24 and 5/10.
He said the whole thing academically. He said 4 9/10 times 5 gives us 24 and 5/10. He is absolutely correct. He is absolutely correct. So we already know how to do repeated addition. We already know how to add decimals. But here's how we multiply with decimals. When multiplying with decimals, you're just going to line up all the numbers to the right, just like with normal multiplication. So just like with normal multiplication, I'm going to show you an example. Here, if I had 4 times 83 hundredths, I line them all up to the right, just like how we would do with normal multiplication. Exactly. Then, here's the next step. This is important. I move over the decimals all the way to the right. So notice I did 2 bunny hops for this decimal. I would move it however many decimal points I had. So I moved it twice. Finally, you multiply it, and then you move the decimal back the left the same amount that you moved it to the right. This is the only step it takes to multiply with decimals. The new thing is we just bunny hop however many decimal places away, and then we bring it back at the end. Dolan asked a great question. She asked why we don't line the decimals up. This is normal multiplication right here. 32 times 4. I would write it like this. 32 times 4. But let's pretend now that this was 3 2/10 times 4. So I had a decimal. I'm trying to make it so that we can see it better right there. For this multiplication, I would move my decimal over 1 place because I don't want to multiply with decimals, so I just get rid of them. There's only 1 decimal, so I move it over 1. I do my multiplication same as normal. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. But is 3 2/10 times 4, do we think that's 128? No. We moved our decimal over 1 place, so at the very end, we move it back 1 place. If we moved it over 20 places, we'd put it back 20 places. It doesn't matter how we do it. That's how we move the decimals. So this is the slide exactly. However many times you move the decimals over, that's how many times you move it back. Amelia is going over here, just basically kind of repeating what Dolan was saying originally, and it was really great because she was saying, okay, so we move our decimal over and we make it, and this is the best part, we make it a whole number. Exactly. We don't want to multiply with decimals. We want to multiply with whole numbers. So we remove that decimal, we move it over how many bunny hops, We multiply with our whole numbers, but then we have to move the decimal back at the end because that's how it works. It's fair. Remember, what we do to the top, we do to the bottom. It's kind of the same thing there. It's fair. So we're going to see some examples of this. So we have this one, 4 times the 8300ths. I'm going to do this one for us, and we're going to do it together. So I move over 2 bunny hops. 8300ths now just became 83. It just became 83. I made it a whole number. But I'm going to just, because I like to do this, I'm going to draw my 2 bunny hops right there. 4 times 3 is 12. I put the 2 there and the 1 there. 4 times 8 is 32. Plus the 1 is 33. 33. So we find out that 4 times 8300ths is 3 3200ths. Does this make sense? Especially because we're multiplying 4 by a number less than 1, that we would get a number less than 4? What do we think? Yes or no? Yeah. If we're multiplying something by less than 1, you're going to get less than the initial thing. If we're multiplying it less than 1, we're going to get less than the initial thing. I want you guys to try this one. 3 times 14 2/10. Lucas had his hand up first, except we know that also Cynthia and I believe Marley and Amelia also had the answers. I like to write the decimals again, or I like to write my numbers with the bigger one, the one that has more digits at the top. So I line them up just like normal multiplication to the right. Okay, Lucas, walk me through what you did.
What I did was first I did 2 times 3, which is the
Well, wait, you have to do something first. Remember, what did you do?
move the decimal once to the right.
Excellent. He moved the decimal once to the right. I like to write on the side sometimes how many times I moved it. Then what? Then continue.
Okay. What you do after is then you can multiply. Then you can multiply 2 times 3.
So we can multiply
6.
6.
And then 4 times 3, which gets you 12. And then 1 times 3, which gets you 3, plus 1 equals 4.
So our answer is 426, right?
Yeah.
So it's a full 426. 426. What do we think, Cynthia? What do we think, Cynthia?
Left to put the decimal back.
Yes, we're going to bunny hop to the left to put the decimal back. And we only bunny hop once because we only moved it once. So we get our answer to be 42 6/10. And then think about it with our estimation. 3 times 14, that gives us about 42. You know, like that would be around there. It's a reasonable answer. 3 times 14, would that give us 426? Lucas was right, by the way. I cut him off just so that because I want to get as many people to participate. So let's look at this one. This is 4 times 9500ths. So if we set it up, it would be like that, just lined up to the right. I draw that little line just so that we know. So I want you guys to do that one. I had a couple of you say, why can't we just bring the decimal straight down? Because look, it's like right like that. That's because it's not always going to be like that. So don't think about it that way. Always think about it bunny hop way. It is not always going to work that way. I will always tell you the tips and tricks, but it is not always going to work that way. So don't do it that way. So Pearson, what is our first step?
Our first step is to move the decimal 2 places because it is 2 places.
Excellent. We move it 2 places because it's 2 places. That's it. Then what did you do?
I then did 5 times 4, and then I did 90
So we got-
times 4.
So 5 times 4 is 20. 4 times 9 gives us 36. We add the 2, we get 38. So our answer is 380, right, Pearson?
No, you have to go 2 places and add a decimal.
I go.
And then I think you could take off the 0.
He's correct. So we go back 2 places and we take it. And by the way, just like he said, 3 8/10 is the same as 3 80/100. If we simplified them, they would get the exact same thing. We don't ever need a 0 if it's at the end, but if you have it, that's okay. Most teachers prefer that you drop it, but like I said, you typically won't get it wrong. Excellent. Pearson explained it perfectly. So now we've got 2 of these problems. I want you guys to set these up. I also want to congratulate because in the chat, we had the people. We had Camilla, Vahe, Cynthia. We had Amelia and Sophia answer them all correctly in the chat. And Gia, so I wanted to give them credit. Okay, so Cynthia, we're going to line them up. So I'm going to put them 4 and 47 hundredths and the 8. Do we agree that's how we line them up, you guys? Yeah, we get our thumbs up. Okay, Cynthia, what was your first step?
First I bunny hopped the decimal like twice.
First, you bunny hopped it twice. We got rid of our decimal. Excellent. Then what?
I multiplied 8 times 7, and I got 56.
Perfect. Next.
I multiplied 8 times 4, which is 32, and add the 5, which
Perf.
is 37.
Perfect. Then. Oh.
Then I put the 3 on the top,
Yeah, because I forgot that. Yep.
and then I multiplied 4 times 8, which is 32, and add the 3, which is 35.
Awesome. So our answer is 3,576, right, Cynthia?
No.
Oh, no. What did I forget?
You're supposed to put the decimal back, 2 bunny hops,
2 bunny hops. How'd you know I put it back 2 bunny hops?
because you put 2 bunny hops to the right.
Exactly, because I did 2 bunny hops to the right the first time, so then I did the next one to the other one. Perfect. So Sophie, we're gonna line this up. I like the one with more digits on the top. It helps everybody. Okay, so Sophie, what'd you do first?
So first I multiplied. So first I moved the decimal
How many times?
2 times,
Yeah. And then what?
and then I multiplied 5 times 5, which is 25.
Excellent.
And then I multiplied 5 times 2, which is 10, but you add the 2, which is 12.
Perfect. So it's 125, right, Sophie?
Yeah.
So our answer is 100.
Then you have to move the decimal
Oh. So how many times do I move it back, Sophie?
2.
1, 2, because we did it initially. So I get 1 and 25 hundredths. Yes, you guys, you're nailing this. So here we've got 2 more examples right here. So I'm going to do these for us, but I'm going to give everybody in the chat who wrote the answers credit. So we line them up. Like I said, the bigger, the one that has more digits at the top. This time, on your fingers, you guys, how many decimal places over, how many bunny hops am I going to do? So on your fingers, show me. Yes, you guys, we do 3 because we got 1, 2, 3. So I get rid of it. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 gives me 3. So I'm done, right? 36? No, I have to move it back. And I have to move it back 3 times because that's how many times I moved it. So I move it 1, 2, 3. If I don't have a number there, I put a 0. So I get 0 and 36 thousandths. 0 and 36 thousandths. So the people right here, like I want to say, Lucas, Gio, Camilla, we got Sophia, Amelia, we got that. We have all of that. Hannah was so close. I love it. This next one, again, we have it like this. Line up the one with the more digits at the top. I'm going to move my thing over how many times, you guys? Show me on your fingers. Yes, I'm going to move it over 1, 2, 3. I don't want that decimal. I want it gone. We got rid of it. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. The rest are zeros, so it don't matter. I'm just going to put 0, 0 because I don't care. And I'm going to move it back the same amount of times. 3 times. So I go 1, 2, 3. So I get 0 and 48 thousandths. Also in the chat who got this right, we see that Jackson got it, Camilla got it, Gio got it. We have Amelia who got it, Lucas got it. We have Eduardo who got it, and Sophia got it. And that's not just saying the others didn't, that's just saying those are who wrote it in the chat. So now we have these ones, you guys. I want you to do these ones. For the sake of time, again, I'm going to line them up, but I'm going to give credit to everybody in the chat. So we line them up. This one just happens to have the more digits, even though it is still basically the amount of the same things. So I'm going to move it over to get rid of my decimal 1, 2. If there's a decimal at the end of the number, it becomes a whole number. 3 times 2 is 6. But I have to move my decimal back 2 times because that's how many times I moved it. 1, 2. Like I said, if there's no number there, we just put a 0. That's what we get. For the second one, like I said, for the second one, I'm going to line them up at the top, just like we do. And again, I move my bunny hops 1, 2. Get rid of that decimal. It's gone. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9. I move my bunny hops back twice. So for the very first one, we get 0 and 6 hundredths. And for the next one, we get 96 hundredths. In the chat, the answers that we got correct, the people who managed to write this in the chat, and I know that not everybody had time, but we got Gia, we have Ben, Sophie, Delaney, Camilla, Lucas, we have Eduardo, we have Amelia, who got it right but accidentally moved it over too many times, but then she fixed it. We got Lucia, who got it correct. We got Pearson, who got it correct. Vahe got it correct. I feel like I already said Lucas. We got all of these. Sophia, we got it. You guys are so great at this so far with all of our practice. So watch this one as we do this together. I'm going to set this up, but we're going to do this like on your own. So 0, 0, 4, 5, 11. On your fingers, how many bunny hops? On your fingers, how many bunny hops? Yes, 3 bunny hops. We do 1, 2, 3. So at the end, we're going to bring it back 1, 2, 3. If I set up this next problem, 1 and 2/10 times 5. How many bunny hops? Show me on your fingers. How many bunny hops for the second one? Yes, 1 bunny hop for the second one because our decimal is just 1 space away. Excellent. So go ahead and I want you to do these. So again, for time's sake, you guys put it in the answers, so I'm going to put it back. So we moved our first one over 3 times. So at the end, I'm going to put it back 3 times. 1 times 5, 5. 1 times 4, 4. I don't care about the rest of the zeros. They don't matter to me. Now, here's where a lot of you guys might make a mistake. You might forget something. You might forget the magic 0. So you can't forget the magic 0. You guys never forget that magic 0. Hey, look again. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 4 is 5. That was a 1. Yes. So then we do this. We add them together. We get 5, 9, and 4. Is our answer, though, 495? No! We have to bunny hop back. We bunny hopped 3 times, so I go back 3 times. So I get my answer to be 0 and 495 thousandths. Again, for this second one, what I do, I moved it once. 5 times 2 gives me 10. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So our answer is 60? No! We gotta bunny hop back that 1 spot we did it. So we get 6, just 6 as our answer. So going back up to the top, because I want to give everybody credit, like I said, is so far we got Camilla got it correct. We have Kayla who got it correct. We have Lucas who got it correct. Lucia got it correct. Amelia got it correct. Cynthia got it correct. Gio got it correct. Kayla got it correct. Vahe got it correct. Jackson got it correct. Pearson got it correct. We also have, let's see who else. I think I was repeating things. Delaney got one of them correct. You guys, that's awesome. You guys are nailing this. Okay, so guided practice. I want you guys to go to page 196 in your math books. 196 in your math books. So we've got 8 problems that you guys are going to do. I want you to practice them. Okay, I want you to do these. So our first one who was willing to answer is Ella. So I'm going to set this problem up. Ella, what is our first step?
So our first step is going to be, you're going to move the decimal.
So we're going to move the decimal how many times?
3 times.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. And then when you multiply, you can just tell me your full answer. What did you get when you multiplied 71 times 8?
So I'm going to say this probably really wrong academically.
Oh,
but, 0.568 thousandths.
Yes, she's correct. So we multiplied 8 times 71, we get 568. And then Miss Smarty Pants moved it back 1, 2, 3. And we get 0 and 568 thousandths. Excellent. Perfect. Amelia, you had your hand up. Did you want to answer the next one?
Wait, I have to answer the number.
I'll set it up for you, Amelia, and then we'll see what happens. For number 8, Justin buys 12 pencils for 56 cents each. He pays with a $10 bill. How much change will he receive? It's technically a 2-part problem, but let's just do the multiplication first. So I'm going to put 0 and 56 hundredths and 12 below it. So how many times am I going to move my decimal place over, though, Amelia?
2.
Exactly. I'm going to move it over 2 places. 1, 2. Do you know what 56 times 12 is? Did you do that?
2 times 6 is 12. You carry the 1.
Perfect.
2 times 5.
Yep.
2 times 5 is 10. Carry plus 1 is 11.
Excellent. But what can't we forget now?
And,
I know, it's going over Joshua's name. Don't
you
worry.
have to put the 0 under the 2.
Yes, our magic 0. And then 1 times 6 is?
6.
1 times 5 is?
5.
We add these together. 2, 7, 6. So our answer is 672, right?
Yes.
But what do we have to do?
You have to carry that. You have to bring the decimal.
And how many times do we put it back?
2.
2 places. So we get 6 and 72. So 6 and 72 hundredths. The second part was how much change she receives. Amelia, can you tell me what operation I would do to find out how much change she would receive?
You would do subtraction.
Exactly. I do subtraction, and just like in the very first, just like in lesson 1, we'd actually line up our decimals. So I would put it, I know I'm writing over things, I would put it 10.00, and just for our math's sake, we would get $3.28, or 3 and 28 hundredths. Excellent. Romina, go ahead with your problem. We set it up. I'm going to put the one with the more digits at the top. How many decimal points do I move it over?
3.
1, 2, 3. And you can just tell me the full multiplication. What was 27 times 4?
Do I just say my answer?
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to say this academically, but I got 0 decimal 108.
So exactly. So she said this. 4 times 27 is 108. She moved it back the 3 places. She said she wasn't going to say it academically. She was kind of close. We get 0 and 108 thousandths. Excellent. So let's see, Sophia, what about yours? What did you get for yours? We line it up. 1.8, 1 and 8 tenths, 6.
Yeah,
Wait.
So I multiplied 1.
So exactly, how many times did you move your decimal?
So my decimals.
Excellent. And then what was 6 times 18? What did you get for 6 times 18?
48.
6 times 18, 6 times 8 is 48. Yeah, so we'll put that there. And then 6 times 1 is?
6.
Plus the 4 gives us?
10. So 10.8.
Exactly, she says 10 and 8 tenths because we move our decimal back that 1 spot. Excellent work. Our other answers, do we have our other people yet? Jessica, let's line this problem up for you. We get 52 hundredths times 3. How many times am I going to move over the decimal point, Jessica?
2.
Perfect. 1, 2. What is 3 times 2?
6.
3 times 5.
15.
And then what do I do now?
You bring down the decimal.
I move it back 1, 2 places. Exactly. And I get 1 and 56 hundredths. Excellent. Alec got booped out, so we're going to Vahe this. I'm going to put the bigger at the top, just like that. What's my first step, Vahe?
Get that decimal and move it 1 space.
1 space. Excellent.
And then what I would do is I would go all the way down and then get that decimal and move it 1 place to the left.
Excellent. So he just did that automatically. Awesome. What's 6 times 7?
6 times 7 is 42, so put a 2 and then a 4 up top over
Perfect.
the 2. And then 6 times 2 is 12. But you need to add a 4. So 12 plus 4 is 16. So 1 6.
Excellent. So
16 and 2 tenths.
excellent. And you said it academically, 16 and 2 tenths. Just for lack of time, we're going to get rid of Sydney and Joshua. We're going to go through it really fast. Set this up. I move it over twice because that's how it is. 5 times 9 is 45. I move it back 1, 2. So I get 45 hundredths as my answer for this one. I get 45 hundredths. For the last one, I'm going to move it. How many times, you guys? Show me on your fingers. How many times? Yes, we move it. 1, 2, 3. Got rid of that decimal. When I multiply it, because I'm lazy, I'm going to use my calculator. We're going to get 1,170 when I multiply 18 times 65, but I have to move it back 1, 2, 3, same amount of times. So I get 1 and 170 thousandths, or 1 and 1700ths, because technically we don't need that zero. Your homework is page 197, numbers 1 through 10. But on 9 and 10, you do not need to justify or explain your answer. I just want the math. On number 9 and 10, you don't need to justify or explain. Great job, you guys.